Hello students, this is your maths teacher Vikram Ghan. Today we are going to conduct the second part of number system in mathematics. So in this part what we shall learn? In this part we shall learn some definitions. Earlier we have seen the definitions of natural number, whole number and rational number. Okay, so in addition to that we shall see some more definitions like real number, irrational number, rational number, as well as we shall study about how to draw root of 2, root of 5, root of 10, such kind of number which are non-terminating, how to draw onto the number line. And at the end of the session we shall see how to draw a square root spiral. Okay, so let's begin with the topic. Now first of all we will see the definitions. So in the definition, already some definitions I have covered, but I am taking all the definitions from the beginning. So first definition in front of you, it is written here of natural number. So natural number, as I told you earlier, which is used for counting. Okay, last time I gave the example of the number of student of the class. Suppose if you want to count how many students are there, so you can say in my class 30 students are there. So which are used for counting and which are non-fractional, non-decimal, that kind of numbers are called as the natural number. These are non-negative also. Okay, let's see the second definition. Second definition is of whole number. Whole number, when we include 0 in the list of natural number, it becomes a whole number. Okay, so in the whole number there is one additional element in comparison to the natural number. Natural number we denote by the symbol n, while whole number we denote by the symbol w. Similarly, we have written the definitions of rational number. Before that we shall see the definition of negative of natural number. If you put up the minus sign on the each and every natural number, then they will be called as negative of natural number. Okay, then next definition we have integers. The negative of natural number, 0 and natural number together constitutes are called as the integer. Means if we combine three things, first natural number, second one negative of natural number, and third one is 0. Remember, 0 is neither positive nor negative number. So we can say that if these three things I combine, this will be called as integer. Integer, in simple words, we can say that they are those kind of numbers which are non-negative, which are either negative or positive, but they are non-fractional, non-decimal. Means that numbers cannot come in fraction, that numbers cannot come in decimals. Okay, so they will be called as here integers, and it is denoted by the symbol z. Similarly, let's see the next one. Next one is rational number. So rational number definition already we have covered. Rational numbers are those numbers which are in the form of p by q, and the value of denominator means q should not be equal to 0. So any number can be in the form of fraction. For example, 4 upon 5 or 6 upon 5 or 9 upon 10. Any number which is in the form of fraction where denominator is not 0 and both the numbers can be either positive or can be negative, and numerator can become 0. That numbers will be called as here rational number. Let's see the next definition, irrational number. Irrational number, those numbers are there whose decimal value comes as non-terminating and non-repeating. Means for example, if you divide one number by another, so if it is not possible to divide completely, the answer will come in decimal, and if that decimal is coming in the form of non-terminating, non-repeating form, we can say that that number is an irrational number. Normally such kind of numbers we obtain by finding the square root of prime number. So if you are finding the square root of any prime number like 2, 3, 5, so that prime number square root always comes in the form of non-terminating, non-repeating. Non-terminating means the decimal is not going to terminate, means your remainder is not coming 0, and non-repeating means you see after decimal there is no pattern we can observe the numbers going to appear here. Okay, for example 3, 6, 9, 7, 1, 3, all the numbers in the decimal are coming in the random order. So we can say that there is no pattern, there is no repetition. That's why it is called as non-repeating. Such kind of number will be called as here irrational number. Okay, let's see the next and last definition. Rational and irrational number. If you mix the rational and irrational number together, they form real number. Means basically any kind of number I can either express in the form of rational number or irrational number. Earlier you have covered many types of numbers. For example, you have covered even number, prime number, okay, odd numbers, negative numbers, positive numbers, and just now we have covered integers. But if you categorize mainly the numbers into two parts, we can say that some of the numbers will be fall into the category of rational number, while some of the numbers will come into the form of irrational number. Okay, for example, suppose if I talk about prime number, so every prime number is an integer, and hence every integer we can write down in the form of p by q. So therefore they will be coming in the form of rational number. So remember, now onwards the real number can have two parts. Maybe one will be rational and second one will be irrational number. Okay, let's start the exercise. Now we are starting the exercise 1.2. First question we have given here: state whether the following statements are true or false. You have to justify your answer. The first part is given here: every irrational number is a real number. See, just now I told you rational and irrational number together they form a real number. Means real number is a part of, sorry, irrational number is a part of real number, right? So we can say that every irrational number by default it will be a real number also. Okay, so we can say yes, this statement is true because every irrational number will be a part of real number and hence it will be real also. See the second part. Second part we have given every point on the number line is of the form root of m, where m is any natural number. Okay, first of all look at the number line. See how our number line looks. So this is my number line. Okay, in the number line you are observing in the middle of the number line it is coming 0, while on your right side it is coming positive numbers, and onto the negative side it is coming negative, sorry, onto the left side it is coming negative number. Okay, so first of all you look at the numbers coming on your right side. Onto the right side you observe I have the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1 I can say it is a square root of 1, means I can write down in place of 1 under root of 1 also. Similarly I can say 2 is a square root of 4, 3 is a square root of 9. Means any natural number I can express in the form of square root of any other number. Means every natural number I can write down in the form of root of m, where m can be any natural number. For example, look at the 5. 5 I can write down as root of 25 also, and 25 will be the value of m over here. So in general I can say any natural number I can write down in the form of root of m. But what about the negative number? You know that the negative number is not a square root of any number, because if you try to find out the square root of any number, that should be 100% positive. Any negative number square root we cannot find out. Okay, so in that case I cannot express minus of 1, minus of 2, minus of 3 in the form of under root of m, where m is any natural number. So here see some of the numbers I can express in the form of root of m, which are coming on my right hand side, but while some other numbers which are coming on my left hand side I cannot express. So here we can say that the statement is false. And one more thing, I am talking about only integer, but if I talk about the decimal numbers, for example number coming between 1 and 2, For example, if I take 1.5, then that number also I cannot write down in the form of root of m, because that may not be a square root of any other number. I am not talking about only 1.5, but for example, if I take 1.5736 and so on, it is going up to infinite, so that it will be non-terminating, non-repeating number, and hence I cannot write down in the form of root of m. Okay, if I take 1.5, definitely that will be a square root of under root of 2.25. But here, if I take non-terminating number, it can't be written in that form. So this statement is also false, right? The answer is written over here. Hence, the natural number on line can be expressed in the form of root of m, but negative number or non-natural number cannot be expressed. Therefore, the given statement is false. Let us see the next question. Now, next question is given here. Question number 1, third part. Every real number is an irrational number. This statement is definitely false, because real number contains irrational number, and irrational number is a part of real number. So every real number cannot be irrational number, because real number can have different parts. Basically, real number can have two parts. One is rational number and second one is irrational number. So we can say that this statement will be false, because irrational number is a part of real number. Okay, here answer we have written real number includes both rational and irrational number, and so some real numbers are rational while some are irrational. So every real number, it can't be irrational. Okay, now let's see the question number 2. Are the square root of all positive integers irrational? If not, give an example of the square root of a number that is rational number. Means they are asking, if we take the square root of all positive integer, they will be irrational. For example, if I take the square root of 2, so square root of 2 will come in the form of non-terminating, non-repeating decimal, and hence I can say that yes, it will be irrational. But I can't say with guarantee or uniformly, yes, each and every number will be irrational only. For example, suppose I take the example of under root of 4, because 4 is also positive integer, and 4, if I try to find out the root, that comes 2, which is terminating. We can say that which is not terminating actually, we can say it is in the form of integer. So suppose if I try to find out the square root of 4, square root of 9 or square root of 25, then I can say these all numbers are coming in the form of integer and they will not be irrational number. So hence all the positive integers cannot be denoted in the form of irrational number. Some of them will be irrational and some of them will be rational 100%. Okay, let's see now our main question, question number 3. Show how 5 can be represented onto the number line. See students, in this question we have to draw one number line and value of root of 5. Sorry, here 5 is written, actually it should be read as root of 5. So how root of 5 we can represent onto the number line? So let's see. First of all, we shall draw one number line, that is AB. Okay, so let us draw one number line that can be of any indefinite length. After drawing a number line, now we shall mark some points over here along with the scale. So scale, what exactly, that we shall see. Scale we are taking here, 1 unit is equal to 2 centimeter. Means when you mark some points onto the number line, the difference between the 2 points or the length between the 2 points should be taken as 2 centimeter. Okay, now we shall mark the points. So here I have marked 0, 1, 2, 3. Remember, between 0 to 1, 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, you have to take a gap of 2 centimeter. Okay, why we are taking this gap? Because the figure will look more convenient by taking such kind of gap. And 0 and 2 I marked as a point A and B. Okay, now further we'll do some calculations. So step 2, we'll take one right angle triangle ABC, and in that triangle we will apply the Pythagoras theorem. So in the Pythagoras theorem, you know that the square of hypotenuse will be equal to the sum of the square of other two sides. So here AC I am taking as a hypotenuse, while AB and BC I am taking as a other two side. BC will be coming as my perpendicular, while AB will be coming as a base. So AC value I am taking here root of 5. Remember, the hypotenuse value, whichever is given value we need to plot onto the number line, that value will be your hypotenuse. For example, next time you are required to draw root of 2 onto the number line, you will take the value of hypotenuse as root of 2. Okay, and BC is my perpendicular. Okay, so perpendicular value will be always considered as 1. Whichever the number you plot, either you plot root of 5 or root of 2 or root of 3, the value of perpendicular should be taken 1 and 1 only. So now I put up in the Pythagoras theorem, then I solve it. So after solving it, the value of AB I am getting as 2 units. So that's why you see onto the number line the point B I mark onto the 2 units. Okay, now next step is, from the point B we shall draw a perpendicular, and from the point B we shall cut an arc of length 1 unit and which will intersect at the point C. Remember, the arc we are going to cut of 1 unit, that will be actually of 2 centimeter. Okay, so I am going to cut the arc here in this manner. This will obtain the point C. Remember, you are going to cut the arc with the help of your rounder, or you can say chop. Okay, now point C we have obtained. Further we shall join the point A and point C with the help of ruler. So after joining it, you will see you will get a triangle ABC. Now again take your rounder and take the measurement equal to the radius of CA. You can see step number 5 I wrote here, taking CA as a radius and A as a center. We will draw an arc intersecting the number line, and that arc will intersect the number line at a point D. Okay, it will come like this. So here, suppose if we draw the arc from the point A, taking A as a center and CA as a radius, the arc will come and intersect the number line at a point D. Now measure the length A to D with the help of your ruler, and that length will be equal to under root of 5. Okay, in units it will come nearly approximately 2.26 centimeter. So this will in this manner we have completed whole figure which we have required to draw of under root of 5. Right, now let us see the next and last question of the exercise. Next question is constructing square root spiral. This question is similar to the previous question, but it will have some difference. Here we shall create a sequence and we shall not draw only one number, means root of 2 or root of 3 onto the number line. We shall draw series of the number onto the number line. Let's see how we can draw it. So first of all, here I will draw one line which will be having a length of 1 unit. Remember, here also the length you need to take 1 unit is equal to 2 centimeter. Means this line, blue line you are looking, this line will be of 2 centimeter. Now we will draw the perpendicular from one of the ends. That perpendicular will also of 1 unit. Then I will join the two different ends, and you see this line whichever you are looking as a hypotenuse of the right angle triangle, this will be a line of root 2. Similarly, how we can plot the another one? Now again from the point at the top I will draw one more perpendicular, and then again I will join it with the base point over there. Right, and this process I will repeat in the same manner. You see, each and every time I am making the perpendicular and I am joining with the point on the base. Again I will draw the perpendicular and join it with the base, and each and every time you observe I am getting the value of root of 2, root of 3, root of 4, root of 5, root of 6, and so on. So see, the figure will be completed in this manner. Remember, each and every time from the same point you have to draw the perpendicular and join with the base point. So you will draw the square root spiral in this manner. Remember, these two figures, you use the proper geometrical instrument to draw the figure. Okay, so this way we have completed the square root spiral over here. Now let us see how we can write down the steps of construction. So steps of construction is mentioned over here. You can copy it afterwards from the notes. So whatever I said to you, the same steps of constructions I mentioned over here, right? Now what will be your homework? Today you find out the root of 2 onto the number line, similarly root of 10 onto the number line, and please read the definition and try to learn the definitions we have written. I have given you all the definitions: natural number, whole number, rational number, real number, etc. Okay, so that definitions you try to learn and revise it properly, and these two questions you finish drawing root 2 on number line and root of 10 onto the number line. Okay, thank you everybody.